Nicole, and we're back with another episode of the Squared Circle Scene. And today I'm here in Chubbyville, Indiana at the NEW event. They were nice enough to allow us to come back. And today I'm sitting with the one and only Jordan Dye. So how you feeling today going into your match?
Feeling sore and old.
Sore and old?
Yeah, I'm old.
You don't look that old.
I'm very old.
I doubt that.
37.
I'm right behind you at 34.
Yeah. I've been doing this too long. It's Danny Glover saying I'm getting too old for this. I'm not gonna curse. I don't know if you guys are a PG podcast or not. No, I'm too old for this shit.
You're getting too old for this shit.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I love pro wrestling. I do this in my sleep. So, what questions do you have for the United States champion of New Era Wrestling?
United States champion.
United States champion. Yep.
So, what got you into this business? Was it something in childhood that sparked your interest, or?
So, I want to say it was probably 90. I think it was 91. SummerSlam 91. I watched Kurt Hennig and I watched Bret Hart.
Perfect.
Oh yeah.
At
SummerSlam for the Intercontinental title. And it blew my mind, the psychology of the match, the way everything flowed together. Bret Hart, of course, is one of my favorite wrestlers, phenomenal. And I love that. So I was into the WWF at that point in time. My granddad, and I did not know this, found out I was in wrestling, and he's like, "Hey, Jordan, step into my bedroom." So he brought me to the bedroom. He showed me all these tapes, NWA, AWA, Mid-South, all that. So I watched, and from that point on, I was glued to pro wrestling, and ever since I've always wanted to do it. So yeah.
I have a very similar experience. My dad was a big wrestling fan, and he had a friend who used to record all the pay-per-views on VHS.
Okay.
And I got introduced to it, so probably like early to mid-'90s, and the first match I remember seeing was The Undertaker and the Giant Gonzalez, I do believe, at a WrestleMania, and Undertaker beat him.
No, you're right. It was WrestleMania. I apologize. WrestleMania 9. Yep.
And that was one of the first matches I seen, and I've been hooked to it ever since. So I have a very similar experience.
Good deal. Yeah. I love pro wrestling. I don't, so if people, I get asked this a lot too. I don't watch a lot of the newer wrestling.
I'm kind of hit and miss on the newer stuff myself.
It varies. Like, I can watch the WWE every once in a while just because some of the stuff they got going on now is pretty dope. But then, like, I know I'm probably gonna get some people, some haters after this. I can't watch AEW.
Oh really?
I can't. I'll watch for the FTR. I'll watch for all their stuff, and I'll watch just a couple of the other guys they got on there. Danielson and
Danielson's good,
when
yes.
Punk was on there, I don't get into all that, but when Punk was on there, like, I would try to tune in. But other than that, like, I'm not an AEW fan at all. I mean, it's not my kind of wrestling. I'm more like, if you throw on like a WCW Nitro from like 97 or 98.
Oh, good stuff, yes.
Man, you have me glued the whole time. I'm just here. I'm not going to move because it's just the story, or even the WWF from the Attitude Era.
Favorite.
So, but like a lot of stuff now, like, it's just some of the indies I'll watch. I kind of tune into GCW. I know a couple guys that work for GCW, so I'll sit and watch. But I'm sorry if I'm going on too long.
Oh no,
I like
you're
to talk.
fine.
If you all have not watched my promos or you know the character, that's all I do is talk. And I'm like this in real life. I don't ever shut up. So.
See, and I'm a big fan of promos, so I'm all into that kind of thing. Like, I like that kind of creative side. I think that's another thing. I was just telling our other guests that I'm a big theater geek, so that was something else about, like, WWF, WWE, whatever, ECW, all that. I love the storylines. I love promos.
We got a little noise behind us, huh?
We do.
Yeah. But yeah, so
let's see. So you were talking about how you were liking the Bret Hart match and the Mr. Perfect match.
Yeah.
So is Bret Hart your favorite wrestler, or do you have more than one favorite wrestler?
I mean, every wrestler or worker, they have their top 5 or 10, right?
Yeah.
I would say my favorite wrestler of all time. I mean, Bret Hart's up there. I love William Regal. William
William
Regal's
Regal's
probably
great.
one of my, when he was like, when Lord Steven Regal, early WCW days, all the way up until like even like, and that's another thing that hurts me about watching AEW because he was on there,
Yeah.
but like I wanted to check him out, and I never really got around to it. But William Regal, Bryan Danielson, Bret the Hitman Hart. I love some Kurt Hennig, but he's not in my top 5. That's just me though. Flair, love Flair. But see, as far, I don't know if I could put. Hey, I would have to put Flair in my top 5. Yeah. What
Flair
was
in
that?
the
Was
top
that
5.
was that 4?
Yeah, so we got Bret the Hitman, you got Mr. Perfect, you got Flair, you said Regal, right?
Yeah, I said Bryan Danielson, but Mr. Perfect's not one of my favorites. I would probably have to say if I had top 5, the fifth. It's a close. Dean Malenko or
Dean Malenko. Okay.
or can I say his name on here? The Benoit? Can I say Chris Benoit?
We can go ahead and be a little controversial. It's cool.
Okay, cool. Chris Benoit. He was honestly one of my favorites, and then all that took place, and I was just kind of like, whether you think he did it or he didn't do it, it's still,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And if I want to squeeze somebody else in there, Chris Jericho, before he started doing whatever he's doing now. I can't watch him anymore, but like back WCW, early WWF days when he was coming up in there, loved it.
About to say, I would say that Jericho was one of my favorites as far as like technical and high flyer. Eddie Guerrero was another favorite
Eddie
of mine.
Guerrero's great, yeah.
When you mentioned Benoit, like the way he grappled, freaking amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know about him as a person, but as a wrestler, fantastic.
So aggressive.
Yeah.
That-
I don't know if I could name a top 5, so that's impressive.
No, you're
There's
good.
way
I
too
actually
many.
mimicked a lot of my style from Benoit. See,
Oh, nice.
a lot. I used to go on. I was under a different gimmick at one point in time, and it wasn't going anywhere for me. I felt like nothing was picking up. You know, people weren't knocking at my door, being like, "Hey, you know, come." I went under the gimmick as Wade Castle. My hair was longer. I was a little more heavy set. I was out of shape. Blah blah blah. And the pandemic hit, and I didn't know what I was going to do, so I completely killed the gimmick in hopes that, you know, maybe something else would come along, and I just started going by myself. You know, I just sat in a room one day. I was like, I need to just be myself instead of I'm a gimmick in myself. I'm a character. I mean, you see me out there in the ring, you see me in the back with the boys, you see me on camera doing whatever. That's just me. I'm a character in itself. So.
And that makes it more believable when you're out there and you're actually yourself.
Yeah.
People will buy into that.
Yeah, I can be smooth as butter on a gold tooth, or I can be as aggressive as Benoit, I guess. I mean, it varies, and like it depends on what the guy I'm standing across from brings out in me. You know, if he brings out that aggression in me, then I'm gonna beat the piss out of him. Plain and simple, I'm gonna stretch him asshole to appetite. Or if he wants to play around and get a little fancy, then we're going to do a little bit of fancy stuff. It is what it is. But doesn't matter about that because at the end of the day, I'm still the better man. I'm still the better wrestler.
You're still the top dog,
I'm still
right?
the top dog. That's why I've been U.S. champion for so long. I mean, come on. I beat one of the biggest guys we have in this company. Hillbilly Jed. I took him out.
Oh, snap.
Knee to the back of the head. 1, 2, 3. I've been the champion ever since.
And you don't worry about Jed coming back?
Nah.
Not at all.
Nah.
Nah.
Jed knows he can't beat me. It is what it is. So.
Oh, boy.
So it is what it is.
All right. So, like, with that being said, and with you knowing that you're the top dog in this business, what's some of your best achievements that you've obtained over your time in wrestling?
Well, I can say every company that I have ever worked for, I've been successful. I mean, New Era, I've been their U.S. champion. I still am their U.S. champion. Can't nobody
Nice.
take me out for it. World's Finest Wrestling, I have been their champion for 3 years. It's going on 3 years. In the end of February. It'll be 3 years. I'm probably the longest running champion in Indiana to date. And I'm not speaking on some of you yarders that don't know what you're doing. I'm talking about actual professional wrestling. I'm the longest champion in Indiana. Sorry, but go ahead.
Oh, he's made it
sorry,
clear.
and also Flophouse Wrestling. I beat
Flophouse
Hoodfoot Mo
Wrestling.
Atlas to become the champion, and I held the championship for a little bit. So, in my opinion, every single where that I work, Every place that I go, I have been successful, and I will continue to be successful until the day that I'm just like, I'm done. So in my eyes, I'm successful. That's my accomplishment.
That's your accomplishment.
Yep.
All right, so with you considering yourself the best of the best, the top person in the company, have you ever had a mentor or somebody that helped you along the way to become the best?
I don't need anybody else. I'm Jordan Dye, baby.
So you're just
I'm the best
self-made.
technical wrestler in the world. I don't need anybody else. Come on.
You heard it here. He's self-made right here.
Come on. They don't
right.
call me the egotistical technician for nothing.
Woo!
Yeah, exactly. I don't care. So okay. So let me get real.
Let's get real.
I'm being a little asshole here, but let me get real. There was a couple of guys that did help me out, that took me under their wing, and there still are guys, and that's the good thing about pro wrestling. You're always learning. You're always learning from people that have been doing this longer. They're not necessarily better than you, but they are better than you in their own way. They've been doing this a lot longer. They got things that they can teach you and show you that you're going to learn from. Especially guys that have been, up to the tip top, to guys that just stayed in one area, but they still know their craft. They're still doing it. You know what I'm saying? They still have
Yes.
that passion for it. So if you got guys like me, study constantly. I'm always watching wrestling. I'm always watching up on what my opponent is doing, matches that he's had, his success, this and that. I've learned to just, anything you want to be good at, you have to study, you have to practice, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Guys like, and I will mention Hillbilly Jed, TJ Kemp, guys like that have helped me. Apollo Star has helped me. Guys over from Ohio have also helped me. My trainer, Robert Stedham, and Steve Collins. I mean, they took me on the road with them for a year. I trained in countless different rings.
Oh,
I learned
nice.
this, I learned that. It took me a very long time to be able to learn how to wrestle. So I could say those guys and the other guys that I did mention. So yeah, there has been some guys that's helped me to get where I need to go, but
Nice. So in your wrestling career, you've already stated that you are the best and you're good at what you do by yourself. Do you prefer to stay as a single wrestler, or do you like working in tag teams?
So I've done the tag thing several times, actually, and I was successful in tag wrestling. I held championships over in Ohio. I've held tag championships here in Indiana. So it's only a matter of time before I take over Illinois and Michigan and Kentucky and etc. But tag team, I have had my stay in it. I forgot to mention another guy, Michael Brody. He was actually a big mentor of mine. I don't know how I forgot him. He's an Ohio guy. Great guy. His actual name's Michael Bell, but we're gonna call him Brody. He showed me a lot of stuff. I don't know how I forgot him, but yeah. But he was a tag partner of mine as well, and we won countless tag championships over in Ohio. So, but I feel like this singles run that I'm on now is the best run I've been on in my career.
Nice.
I mean, I'm 7 years in. I think this will be my 8th year in.
Your 8th year?
So, 2022, it was my year, but 2023 is my year, and the next year, and the year after that, and the year after that, until I decide to hang them up. And even when I do hang them up, ain't nobody gonna be as good as me. Ain't nobody come before as good as me. Ain't nobody gonna come after as good as me. So
you're coming for it all.
I'm coming
from
for
here
it
until
all
the
day.
coat's
Yeah.
out. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, with like all of the new people coming in, is there any advice that you would give new talent coming in the door?
Yeah. Don't do drugs.
Don't
no,
do it.
I'm just being smart. Just listen. Always keep your eyes open, your ears open, and your mouth closed. Always listen. Never be afraid to ask for help. And just study. If you're not, so I'm going to tell you from my experience, if you're not in love with pro wrestling, like if you do, and I'm not saying you have to eat, sleep, breathe pro wrestling, but if that is not a passion of yours, if you can't sit and watch a wrestling match and you're not into it, and there's going to be matches you're not into, that's not what I'm saying, but if there's a particular match that you can't get into, that's obviously everybody else is fucking in love with, might be something this might not be for you because you're not going to understand it. You're not going to understand what draws those people in. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you just always listen and, keep your mind open. Take advice. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
All right. And as we wrap this up, is there anything that you would want to say to any fans that you have? Good,
First-
bad, in between.
Buy my merch. I don't really care about you fans. I get paid either way. And I got a little message for everybody that's coming up for my title or for any of my titles. Baby, you gonna have to bring at least an army to even get a dent on me, you understand? Now, are we done? Because I do have more things to do than to sit here and talk to you. I mean, this has been pleasant, but I got championship things to do. So, are we done here? Can I walk away now? Or you ain't gonna get upset?
I think we're good
Okay,
now.
okay. I'm just making sure. Okay.
All right. I think we got all we need from the champion here. So I think we're going to end it right here. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.